CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com. Have you heard about Book Authority's best new podcasting book winner, which is Dr. Tina J. Ramsey for her book, The Power of Podcasting, Unlocking Tips and Strategies for Podcasting Success. This book is your podcasting coach in a book. She is sharing so many strategies. This book reached number 1 twice on Amazon for new release and best-selling book. So go ahead to ctrmedianetwork.com to purchase your copy today, or simply place your order on amazon.com today and unleash the power of podcasting.
And we have such a body of experiences that why should we not embrace all of who we are and all the different things that we've known, loved, experienced, whatever, the whole shebang. So I have my couple of poems that are my social justice, when I'm having my might be something news like George Floyd and all that. Then I'm like, all right, I'm angry and I'll write something about it. But it just depends. Yeah.
It's time for the Tina Ramsey Show. It's time to share.
Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Tina J. Ramsey, the host of the Tina Ramsey Show and podcast, powered by CTR Media Network. And today we are at LitCon, South Carolina, presented by Blue Impressions Publishing. And today we're meeting some of the authors that are featured at this amazing expo here in South Carolina, the first ever conference dedicated to authors, in South Carolina. So over to my left, I have an amazing guest, and I want you just to tell the people a little bit about yourself, your background, and just a small overview about your book.
Okay, sure. First of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate being here. It's very fun. My name is Elizabeth Michaud, and I'm from Georgia. And I recently wrote a book of poetry. I've been writing since I was a kid. I used to write on, and I had this big dream of writing something like Stephen King or something like that a long time ago. And then when I finally started doing it, I started dabbling in short stories with that same intent of I'm going to write a great American novel. But I'm lazy and I'm impatient. And I don't have that temperament, I don't think, to write a long work. And so once I made that realization, I realized, I can still do that, but through poetry. So with poetry, I'm still able to tell a story and whatever it is that floats my boat. But I can do it in a short way, in a concise way. I don't have to spend hours and hours, and it's still actually pretty challenging because you got to say a lot in a smaller form. So that's what we are. I just have little stories that I tell them in verse.
Hey, in today's modern society where everything comes to us so quick with the onslaught of information, we need a little small burst and little small bites to get through it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what inspired you to write a book that is small little snippets?
Like I said, mainly laziness and impatience. Because, I got this thing that, once I put my mind on something, I want it now. Whatever it is, I want it now. I want it right then. So I would write short stories, which was fine.
Yeah.
But, I get distracted. My kids swear I got ADHD. And I would write them, and they would be good and fine, but it would just take me a while. And I just want to be finished. I don't want to keep coming back. And I just want that instant gratification of
being done,
absolutely.
Completing the list. I can
Absolutely.
identify. So you're not by yourself. So how do you hope that this book can impact others?
Well, it just depends on what you're looking for. Because again, it is short story. They're basically short stories, just like I said, in poetic form. And I write about a lot of different things. One of my favorite things to do is write based on a prompt. And so when I use a prompt, it really opens up what I can write about. Okay, I'm not focused on just one singular thing. So like in this book, it's divided into chapters. One is all about love, unrequited love. We've been rejected, we're in love, whatever. The next one, for example, is a series of stories, basically. wherein there's two perspectives of the same thing. So there's this perspective, and then someone else is looking at it from a different perspective, for example. The next chapter talks about sorrow. We've all lost someone or anything. Tells things. And sometimes it's just asking the questions about death and why this is. The other chapter is kind of like my mishmash.
Yeah.
You know, just stuff that something about the weather, something about just whatever, divorce, whatever, just stuff. And then the last chapter, because when I started this journey all those years ago, I wanted to write horror. So that's my chapter of my horror poems, or like my scary poems.
Oh.
But the other thing is just also to make it very artful. I don't like, me personally, I'm not into poems that are just like one or two lines and just a simple statement. I do like the art of poetry, so there is some art here for sure, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I love that you give a little bit of everything. It's like eclectic. It's a little bit of this. It's a little bit of that. So, and as people, we are. How can I say it?
More than one experience.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And each day of the week, sometimes one day of the week, we feel various different emotions and various
That's exactly
different
right.
moods. So this book can appeal to all the emotions and the layers
Absolutely.
of a person that make up a person.
Absolutely.
Because no one is the same way all the time. I
Right,
don't
and
care
we
what you
have
say.
such a body of experiences that why should we not embrace all of who we
All
are
of them.
and all the different things that we've known, loved, experienced, whatever, the whole shebang. So like even like I have my couple of poems that are my social justice, when I'm having my might be something news like George Floyd and all that stuff. Then I'm like, all right, I'm angry and I'll write something about it. But it just depends.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So right now, as a featured author here at LitCon event, and we already know that it's presented by Blue Impressions Publishing, what aspect of this event did you look most forward to?
I like meeting people, meeting customers, talking to them, chatting them up, because you always wind up meeting. You obviously meet a lot of people, but it's fun how the conversations evolve. Yeah, like I met somebody outside who she is a Spanish teacher, and I've taught Spanish. I'm certified to teach Spanish and French. And so that was just a really great conversation because she teaches Spanish and Chinese, which is a weird combination, but it was cool. And we can relate because we're both language teachers and all that stuff. And then my daughter, she sometimes comes with me. My daughter studies German, so it was just a really engaging conversation about language. That's not something that everybody loves to talk about, but
Well, you know what? You're a linguist.
Yes.
And so it's not too many people that can speak more than one language. I mean, most of us have trouble speaking the first language.
Yes, ma'am.
So the fact that you can speak more than one, that is a plus. And then what's the odds of meeting someone else
Right.
in the same place at the same time? So I can imagine the conversation because both of you can identify.
Yes, absolutely.
You can identify. So with you writing your book, and you had mentioned how you had to stop, start, and really because you wanted to get it done, right? So what key aspects, or I would say encouragement, that you can give to an aspiring author who feel like I'm stuck, or maybe they approach it the way that you did and feel like I'm never going to get it done, but seeing you finish?
I think you just gotta persevere. Everybody's story is different.
Yeah.
Mine was just basically I got a divorce, and once I got a divorce, I was like, I'm free to do me and do what I want to do. And so once that was kind of gone, I kick it to the curb. I was like, first up, this is it. Some of these poems are really old. I've had some of them in here for like 12, 13, 14 years. I just had a body of work, and I would go back and look at it. I said, no. There's something here. I know what I'm saying. I got these little messages. So I decided to just go for it.
I love it, and the fact that you decided to go for it. And also I heard that due to a life change experience that kind of held you,
Right.
once you was released,
That's correct.
you was able to be free.
And by the way, so we don't want to let something hold you back. Really and truly, if my situation had been different, I should have done it long ago. But
But at least you did it now.
Right. It is what it is, but don't let that stop you if you can.
Well, your interview is going to help so many people because many of them feel like, okay, I had these poems maybe 10, 15, 20 years and I've been meaning to publish them. I should wait because either
Everybody wants to wait.
no one wants to hear it now.
Yeah.
It was good. It was part of that time. But the fact that you went on ahead, pushed through, and put pen to paper, and now people being inspired, your story is going to hit home with a lot of people because we feel like the time has passed.
Right.
Okay.
And you don't want the time to pass.
Yes.
Life is so short. Our time is so small
Yeah.
on this earth. And I said, nah, let me get this done. This is something I want to do. And it was great, you know. And then I was able to, I have a second book coming out later this fall, second book of poetry, which is probably, I think.
Tell people how they can find your book.
You can go to Amazon, of course, online, anywhere online, to find it. Basically.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys.
Can I say this?
Yes.
If you live in the greater Atlanta area, it's almost in all the local independent bookstores.
Oh, that's
And I know
awesome.
they would probably appreciate you going there. So like Nubian Bookstore, the Bookseller in Conyers, a novel experience. I have it in almost every little independent bookstore in the larger Atlanta area.
That's good
Yeah.
to know, you guys. Make sure that you support your local bookstores
Yes,
because they're
absolutely.
becoming a thing of the past and we have to support them.
Yes,
So
yeah.
go check her book out in all the different little independent bookshops in Atlanta.
Yes.
You mentioned Conyers and different places,
Yep.
and I'm familiar with Conyers.
Yeah. So they got a nice little bookstore called the Bookseller. Great, it's independently black-owned, black woman-owned bookstore. There's that one. Nubian Bookstores in Clayton County called Morrow. And actually, there's the great. I was there last weekend, and they sell books by people of color, and they also, if you're Greek, they sell all paraphernalia for the Divine Nine.
Oh,
You know, so stuff like that. There's one in Ackworth. I was there 2 weeks called the Crazy Book Lady. They do used books.
Well,
And just a little bit
we
everywhere.
thank you
Yes.
for giving us some of your time and being a featured
Absolutely.
guest, giving us more insight on your book of poetry and how diverse it is and
Yes.
eclectic to give you appeal to all of our emotions.
Yes, ma'am. It does.
On that note, you guys have a great, amazing day. Make sure to go pick it up if you are eclectic, which most of us are. So go ahead and pick up the book
Absolutely.
to be all the shades of your mood.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for stopping by. See you same time, same place next week.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.